How open is the Lions window?
Like, they're kind of curious. Like, maybe they'll open up, like, to, like, another girl, but maybe, like, never another guy.
No.
Like, they're that kind of open.
Definitely not.
Yeah. I'd say probably that kind of open.
But how open is it?
Maybe 2 girls. Not open enough for you?
Well, like,
maybe 2 girls, 1 guy. But nothing touching. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No eye contact.
No eye contact.
That kind of open.
Can't hold hands.
Yeah.
Like 3 Wisconsin trips, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like 3 Wisconsin trips open.
That's pretty open.
How open is the Detroit Lions window? This is a term that Neil's been bashing the head in terms of like campaigning for keeping Jared Goff. Jared Goff is what, 28 years old? 29 years old? 28. The Detroit Lions window is as open as Hayden Hooker's ability.
Chris in Wisconsin.
Pretty open. And it's actually the truth, too, because if they are able to pass the baton, and I'm not doing this as a shot to Goff, I'm saying, like, how literally this window can be open. Mm-hmm. If you are able to pass the baton to a 25-year-old at some point, or 26-year-old when it comes to next year, then you got more time, and you got that guy in a rookie deal, and you could continue to add pieces to this team until you're – I mean, I already feel like they're possibly contending this year, but you kind of just extend this thing, you know? And much like the Kansas City Chiefs did with the Patrick Mahomes situation. Mm-hmm. In a roundabout way, obviously took a little bit of a dip before going back up, but the Eagles did with Jalen Hurts. Like, that window remained open because of that contract. And there's been talks, even in the CBA, is that NBA?
Collective bargaining agreement.
Okay, thank you. Either way, there's been talks about trying literally to make a whole separate salary cap pool for quarterback contracts, just because of how badly they affect the entire salary cap.
Yeah.
Like I don't. A lot of people like to gloss over the situation, but it is an issue for teams that are paying the quarterbacks all the money in the world, and it's not even necessarily a fault, because if a guy like that goes in the market, the quarterback means so much to your team. Mm-hmm. It really does, and especially when they're on that cheap deal. So I think the window could be open for at least Hendon Hooker's on at least 4 years, right?
Yeah.
4 to 5 years.
Because Ryan Ermanni on the Final Word was saying that there are the makings of a run for the Lions in the NFC North, with how we don't know what the Packers are going to be without Aaron Rodgers. The Vikings have lost 7 starters. The Bears still have a lot to prove. And the Lions could go on a run here and win this division a couple of years in a row, not just this year. And so I agree with what Burns said in the Woodward Sports Chat. He said, we have a Goff window and then a Hooker window. And I got a Hooker window too, right out back.
Up my cabbage, up my cottage in Traverse City.
My cottage in Traverse City.
Got a Hooker window there too, but
got a Hooker window and a blow window.
Some substance on the window seal.
But it's there's a lot to discuss. There's a lot to break down, because the window either shrinks or closes if you make the wrong decision at quarterback. If you do decide to go with Jared Goff, extend him, you don't have the faith in Hendon Hooker, or Hendon Hooker isn't showing the signs that you wanted to, that's how a window can close. Like, the Bills' window is damn near closed. Like, with Josh Allen getting that much money, they've never even gotten over a hump of an AFC championship game. Like, it's tough to say that the Bills' window will last much longer. So the Lions have it set up to where they can keep replenishing talent, and not a lot of teams have a window like the Niners, where it's just every fucking year is like the Niners are going to be in Super Bowl contention.
Niners are open like J-Mo.
Yeah. Like 7-Eleven. Always open.
Always open.
So we'll see. We'll see what they do. But obviously the quarterback situation is one of the biggest hindrances of a window.
Yeah. And if they do, let's say Hendon Hooker isn't the guy, or showing signs of possibility of being the guy, or even what Jared Goff once was back in L.A., well, then the window then translates to how long until Goff's cap hit becomes ridiculous. And if you're re-signing what I expect would probably be like a 3-year deal, I'd probably give yourself like 2 years. But again, on that 3-year deal, if you look at the Daniel Jones and Geno Smith contracts, the first 2 years are kind of ridiculous. Mm-hmm. Actually, the first one is, middle one straight, and the last one's like ridiculous again. But it's really just depending on how that structure ends up being drawn up, you know, and how that salary cap is going to affect you. Because here's the thing, and Neil likes to gloss over this, I know, just because I don't know for what reason, maybe just to win an argument, but the salary cap, like your cap hit, affects your team because that's how you conduct your team. That's how you build your team, is with those cap hits. You have a allotment of the amount of money you could use in terms of those cap hits. If you have one player taking up 40 or 15% of like your salary cap, you're limited on a 53-man roster in a sport that you're going to have injuries. There's a 100% injury rate in the NFL.
Yeah.
And even if you're not injured, you're banged up and hurt, and you want to take some games or some plays off. It matters. And it's historically proven to matter since the invention of the salary cap. It just is what it is.
It does matter, and like people say, like, oh, the cap keeps going up. The cap's going to keep going up. That doesn't change the percentage. Like, if the cap keeps going up, those contracts are going to keep going up. Like, you're going to see Joe Burrow and Trevor Lawrence. These guys signed like $60 million deals, like $60 million a year. It's going to be wild, and people are going to be like, whoa, what the fuck? Because you remember when it happened here with Matt Stafford, when the Lions made Matt Stafford the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. Everybody was like, whoa, what the fuck is it? And then, like, next season it was Matt Ryan. And then it was somebody else the season after that.
Yep.
And then somebody else the season after that. That's what happens. The next quarterback to get paid, if he is good, is going to be the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. It's just how it happens.
Mm-hmm. You saw it happen with, perfect example, Joe Flacco goes out, wins the Super Bowl with the Ravens on the last year of his deal. Gets to the fattest fucking contract. Joe Flacco and the Ravens did what? Aaron Rodgers. You could play phenomenal. You could get that paycheck and still be who you are and play like be Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
But it's a team game. When you want to win. Aaron Rodgers got his pack contract, the highest paid quarterback. What happened to the Green Bay Packers every time they made it in the playoffs? Russell Wilson, doing well, got his contract. It's a team game. What was that?
Broncos country. That's right.
Let's ride. That's just how it goes. It's tried and true. Almost every single time outside of
like the shocker,
Patrick Mahomes, in which they had a perfect example. I mean, he's truly fucking great. Patrick Mahomes was the best ever, one of the best ever do it. I put him in my top 3, top 5 right now. But Tyreek Hill, think of the talent that Tyreek Hill is. How fucking elite he is at the wide receiver position. Had to break him off.
Yeah.
We can't continue to pay you while we have this guy in this insane contract.
Tyrann Mathieu couldn't pay him.
Yeah.
Orlando Brown couldn't pay him.
Yeah.
Like it happens when you invest that much money into one player. You love to see rookies come in, rookies step up, guys like Nick Bolton, different people on the Chiefs that step up and make things happen. But you need to go out there and build or structure your team around that. And like you have your 12% rule or whatever it is, but it's there for a reason. Like,
yeah.
And the only guys to beat it are Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady.
Yep.
So it's
some of the greatest.
The 2 greatest. Like,
yeah. And the one thing I guess like you could have a conversation about that window extending past that 2 to 3 year window if Goff is your guy is the fact that you have a lot of these dudes on rookie deals. But the reality is that 2 to 3 window is just that, because after those 2 to 3 years, Amon-Ra's going to need a deal. Penei Sewell's going to need a deal. And best believe, as much as we love Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's breaking the bank. Dude was a 4th round pick. His contract's absolute shit right now. He's provided well over what his contract's worth right now in terms of like value.
Jack Fox is getting paid more next year than
Amon-Ra St. Brown. It's fucking crazy. More examples of guys getting paid. I'd probably throw Ryan Tannehill in there too. I mean, the list goes on and on.
Tannehill caught a bag.
What'd you say?
Tannehill caught a bag. Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
Caught a bag. Dak caught a bag. Kyler Murray caught a bag. That's what happens.
Yep.
And if you gamble incorrectly, you end up with a Kyler Murray. You gamble incorrectly, you end up with a Dak Prescott. And you're just like, well, fuck. Like, what do we... I don't know how the fuck the Cowboys have so many good players on their team with paying Dak Prescott that much.
I looked at their contract, and he fell underneath the 12% last year, or either just at it, because the way his is every other year. It's like 1 year is a really like a decent cap hit. Yeah. Next year, crazy cap hit. Next year, small cap hit. You know what I'm saying? It's just up and down. Weird. I know, but I get what like it's smart that they did that though, because I have those like tweener years where you can kind of go all in.
Yeah.
Like this upcoming season, he's gonna have another fat cap hit. Sorry, might go other places. I'm playing another fat cap hit.
Ass.
Which is, I mean, maybe you see a step back from the Cowboys.
Yeah.
I mean, don't forget Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard, both those guys are banged up. I know they got Deuce Vaughn, but yeah. And as of now, Jared Goff has the 3rd highest cap hit in the league at $30.9 million.
Yeah.
Only Ryan Tannehill and Patrick Mahomes are above him.
Ryan Tannehill with that contract, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
His is 36.6.
Jesus Christ.
Dax actually isn't too bad this year, too. His is 26.8.
Next year it's probably like 40.
Russell Wilson's 22. Lamar's 22. Daniel Jones 21. Stafford only 20.